This episode of Inside Golf Podcast is brought to you by Inside Sports Network.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Boston Capital, Twiddler Steve, on the Hold the Green podcast.
All right, we are live. Tap in, birdie.
All right, Carson Young is here.
I bet Ludwig at 28.
Let's go. I bet
You
him
did
at,
too?
I bet him at 25.
Low sevens. I think there's some guys in here we like.
Harris English at 7,300.
Why the fuck would I not bet Rory?
Good evening, everybody. It's your boy Capper with Twiddler Steve here on the Hold the Green podcast, Masters recap, Heritage preview. I guess we'll get to that. Steve, was that the greatest major you've ever watched?
I'd like to probably put a bookmark in that. I think I don't know if I want to think about it in the grand scheme of best majors I've ever watched, but I have. I think we can probably contextualize it by best Masters. I've thought about that one. I actually, funny enough, will be on Tap and Birdie next week to talk about the 4 best majors of this decade so far. So for the last 25 years and the 4 worst. Yep. And this one obviously is going to be in that category of consideration. But as far as today, I think I just want to revel in how special this day was, not just for golf history, but for sports history, and just seeing the triumph of somebody who has long awaited and long suffered to win something badly. And it was truly an amazing day, an amazing round of golf, ups and downs. I mean, I didn't want it to be this stressful for Rory, but I was kind of happy that it was so chaotic to make it interesting to the end, because it looked like it was going to be a complete runaway on the back 9. And of course, the demons just got to Rory and he choked it back. But man, there was a lot of memorable shots today, a lot of memories. It was tremendous, tremendous day.
Yeah, it absolutely was. The outpouring of emotion when he sank that putt in the playoff was amazing. Like, it just was. It absolutely was. And like, you could see the weight of the world off that guy's shoulders and how happy he was. Yeah, it was just it was a great moment for golf. Like you said, great moment for sports. Sucks that Rosie was the guy again, losing in a playoff. I mean, they're talking about an old guy battling his balls off. He played amazing. That scorecard was psychotic today. It was a beautiful thing. To have the toughness and grit to hang on after shooting whatever the hell he shot on Saturday, 75, and come out and birdie it and first round leader and push it to a playoff, man. Ups and downs. Bryson taking the lead at first. Like, it was good from the jump, man. It was I knew he was gonna miss that fucking putt on 18.
I called it. I texted you. I said, this bogey on 18 is gonna hit like crack. I mean, it seemed like the stars were aligned for that to happen. Yep. And I honestly was very surprised Rory was able to kind of collect himself after that, because it just, like, imagine how you're feeling at that moment. You have 5 feet to get whatever, to get what you have wanted for your entire life. Yeah. And then you blow it. And it's like, okay, like, is this really going to happen again? Is this nightmare going to be all over again? And then this would have been, I think this would have been the most devastating loss, way more than Pinehurst, way more than last year. But the guy got it done. One of the things that was a pattern over and over today was, I know you criticized the Bob Rotella stuff that he has been dealing with, but it's about the bounce back from adversity and keeping a positive mind frame, envisioning the shot you want to hit. And right after the double bogey, I mean, we were talking about it in Discord, you could see how just nervous Rory was. And Rory admitted it, actually. He said, I was nervous. The double bogey, he said, actually kind of freed him up and woke him up.
So I was at Tommy's and we watched it together today, and that's what we both said. We were like, all right, this might actually be better for Rory. Like it's a little extreme, but it might make it a little better for him.
Yep. So, I mean, but the bounce back from that to, starting carding some birdies, hitting some good iron shots, the shot on 7, which I'll bookmark in a little bit. And then I actually had told my wife, because he was up 5 after 10.
Yep.
And look, I mean, we're trying to wrangle the kids, trying to explain to her, look, this is the Masters. I got to talk about this later. I want to watch this. And this is a special moment. Like, if Rory's up 5, I need to see the green jacket ceremony. And literally, as soon as I said that, he hits one of the worst wedge shots I'd ever seen into 13, puts it in the drink. And all of a sudden, the lead, which was 5, is now gone and completely tied at that point. But again, bounce back with, I think.
Oh, he bogeyed the next hole. He bogeyed the next hole.
He bogeyed the next hole. Fine, he bogeyed the next hole. But the shot on 15 was,
amazing.
I mean, in my opinion, better than the shot on 7.
Well, yeah, since he paid that one off and he didn't pay off 7.
No, he didn't pay off. Well, I mean, yeah, he didn't pay off 15 either. But just the type of shot he had to execute under the gun in the moment there. I actually remembered Mark Leishman years ago pulled off a similar shot. I'm like, that's like one of the greatest shots I've ever seen. He had the big sweeping draw over the water, took a crazy line, and Rory basically did the exact same thing. And like how difficult that shot is, especially after seeing Bryson just hit it in the water before you. Like water. That takes
that visual is no good for you.
No, that takes some balls, because even though it wasn't a strong west wind, there was a little bit of wind in your face there. And like, you are really gambling, saying, okay, I got to hit this and hope the breeze doesn't come up, and it comes up short. And that would have been the end of the tournament for him, and pulled it off. Another great shot on 17. I feel like he kind of got lucky though with that one.
Hey.
But it worked out, and then
listen, man, you gotta be better be lucky than good sometimes, right? You know what I mean? Like, he thought it was short. I thought that thing was going in the fucking bunker the way he was saying go, and then it landed and rolled straight up. Like, oh.
Yep. And then after missing again on 18, the first playoff hole, you saw again bouncing back from adversity, same yardage as he just had, and he capitalized at that point. He got a second chance and put it at 2 feet, and that was all she wrote. Yeah, I'll admit I got a little teared up listening to him in the first green jacket ceremony when he mentioned his parents and how much they sacrificed for him. And, I mean, it's just we demand. How often do we demand these golfers that we watch every single week that just look like complete robots that are emotionless? And we just ask for guys to wear their heart in their sleeves and see like some raw, true feeling. Mm-hmm. And we don't see it a lot in golf, and we saw that today. And it was a perfect way to end this Masters. It was tremendous, and it's a very special moment for everybody that watched. It was great.
Yeah, it was A+, like like the coverage, everything. Like you legitimately could not ask for more on a Sunday Masters. Like it was perfect. I'm so like, God knows what would have happened if he didn't close. Like that I couldn't imagine what his headspace would be for the rest of his life.
Will we even see him before Quail at that point?
Oh, I don't know.
Definitely would not have seen him this week.
No,
probably not see him at the Zurich. Yeah.
No. Well, him and Lowry, they're going to play. They're going to still be drunk from celebrating. Like Baroff said, he said he was ready to hit him, and then he's like, hell no, he's going to be on a bender. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, so it's funny. Like, we talk about it leading into the week. It's like Rory checks every box, makes all the sense in the world. He's playing like the best golfer on the planet, has a couple wins, and we still don't bet him because we don't think he has the headspace to do it. And he finally did it, man. I was like, this is the first time in a while we're having a sweat or anything like that, and I was just purely fan. And I wanted Rory to win so bad. It was awesome.
Yeah, well, that was something that actually popped in my head to talk about. Where we are now 5 of 6 years at the Masters, where I'll just say, like, people were saying, oh, was it Scotty or Rory? No, for me, it was Rory was the guy. Of if you're going to single bullet anybody, it was him. Yeah. And this is now 5 of 6 years where the guy who was the most obvious screaming best player in the world, best form coming in, ends up winning. Yep. And yet here I am just saying, well, I want 4 or 5 guys. I want a bunch of, cracks at it. I want Brooks Koepka on my card, which maybe we'll talk about him in a little bit. I don't know why, but we will. I think this is a lesson for me. And I'm going to screw this up next year. I'm going to forget.
Yep.
But why make any bets for the Masters in December? I know people want to bet it. I know you want to get the best numbers, but literally the last 5 or 6 years has been the best guy coming in, and it's been that simple. So if you want to bet futures, I think PGA, US Open, that's definitely the ones to do it, because there is a little more, I think, a wider range of golfers that probably could win those. But it just seems like with the course changes they have done to the Masters and Augusta National, with the lengthening and how fast they really run it, and like it just seems like just go with the guy who's best form, best player. Even if it means you got to bet plus 650. It's a boring bet.
Yep.
I'm just going to do that going forward, I think. And, it is what it is at this point.
Yep, absolutely. And I should have trusted my gut and put that free bet on Rory, but I just couldn't get past me thinking he wouldn't mentally do it. I just didn't think he was going to get there. So it was all, like I said, it was awesome to see. And curious to see what he's going to do now that he's got all the weight off too. Is he going to go on like some fucking Scotty run this year? You know what I mean? It'll be, I think that'll be interesting.
I mean, what do you think he's going to go off? Well, I haven't looked at the adjusted odds, but he's probably going to go off like plus 450 for Quail, right? Has to.
Yeah. Has
at
to.
this point.
One there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So probably around the same for the Open. Oakmont, I could see him drifting a little bit, but because he didn't play all that good there in 2016.
Isn't the Open's in Northern Ireland this year too, isn't it?
It's Royal Portrush, where he had a lot of expectations as well, and then Royal hooked it out of bounds on the first tee shot. Yep, and had a similar emotional reaction after that too. But
love it.
No, this was a very special day. I do feel, you mentioned it earlier, I feel bad for Justin Rose though.
Yeah,
I mean, listen, he's a stoic gentleman. I know he appeared like he was very happy for Rory. I'm sure he is, but that's another guy too that probably should have a green jacket. Should definitely have more than one major, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He has been so relevant and so solid and so consistent and been in the mix so many times at majors. Should have won in 2017, by the way. Sergio stole that from him down the back nine by just going nuclear. And I feel for him tonight. Because it was kind of like he would have won the green jacket, but everyone would have just talked about Rory. Like he was the bad guy.
That's true.
He actually just mentioned in his interview, but
he didn't want to play the bad guy. Who was the one in who won the Open that
Stuart Sink beat Tom Watson?
Tom Watson. That's it. Everybody fucking hated Stuart Sink. So like Rose would have got the same shit.
Exactly. But the sands of the hourglass are slipping for Justin Rose.
I know.
And
he's well aware of it too. The way he speaks and talks about it, he says like, "This is what I want to be doing at this point in my career. I want to be relevant. This is, it's showing that the hard work is getting there." I mean, he was second at the Open last year, second here. Like, I would like to see him take down at least one more major. And a green jacket would be nice, but he'll be 46 next year. Yeah,
I mean, it's his window is clothing. He's probably planning on being a Ryder Cup captain, which I think you and I would run through a wall. That's why. I mean, it was fun watching him so invested in today, doing the fist pumps, the roars, like everything that we had saw, like as he just stomped over the Americans at the Ryder Cup. He was basically doing today.
He was.
And it would have been a nice consolation if Rory did not get it done. That Justin Rose, I would have been
at least
was
happy. Rose, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would have been just as happy, but I would have been happy. Like if either one of those two were fine. Like I was looking at the board, I was like, Patty Reed would just cause chaos. That would have been, if you think about it, he would have been in the playoff. Fucking 3-putted from fucking 3 feet.
I know that was rough. I think Ludwig too. Like Ludwig's gonna win a major. Like if he was the one that stole it from Rory or stole it from Rose, like it's like, all right, come on, man. Like,
yeah, I
know he was a popular bet, but like, wait your turn, young man. So, exactly right. But I mean, Ludwig, we both were very low on him, and maybe this was just a situation of like Will Zalatoris, like a couple of years ago before he got injured, where just this place just clicks for Ludwig, no matter what he's doing coming in. He was a mess with the short game. The ball striking was kind of a little erratic coming in. He just showed up this week and nutted up and played great. So is that a sign of maybe he's going to turn things around? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, look at this golf course. Max Homa played well again today. Like maybe this course just clicks well for him. He was fucking broken. Do you remember looking at that data golf thing you sent me or somebody sent? And his chart was the narrowest thing I've ever seen. Nothing going in any direction. And somehow he shot, what did he shoot? 4 under, 5 under? Like, it's crazy. That
he was T12 this week, -4. Maybe he went to his grave at 12 in the azalea bushes and kind of just got some closure at that point and was able to move on from the tragedy. And hi Cam, how are you doing? What do you got?
I wanted to chime in on Max. So I listened to Pardon My Take when I was driving on Friday, but he went on there and he said that he shot like 7 under in a 9-hole practice round. And he also said that, and you'll love this, Capper. He said that Joe Griner was like, "Hey Max, I'm ditching you, bro. Like, I'm gonna go play with JT." Yep. And 2 tournaments later, Max T12s at the Masters. Like, nice big screw you to Joe Griner.
Yep, and JT didn't play all that great this week too.
No, JT played like ass.
JT sucked.
Yep. So not a very good for Joe Griner's I think career path. No, I'm kidding. He'll be fine. No. Let's talk about Bryson though. I want to talk about Bryson.
Yeah, sure.
Because I think you and I now have to change our opinion about him at this particular golf course. Because maybe I'll let you go into this. Why were you always before this week hesitant about Bryson at Augusta?
Because of the single length irons and all the uneven lies, and he didn't seem to be able to get it. And it really started when he called it a par 67, went out and ejected immediately. It was like, okay, the irons don't work. His bunker play wasn't great. His around the green was terrible. He was always a great putter, but the single length irons and the uneven, there's not an even lie in that place, man. Like watching that today was just so funny. I heard what the announcer was like, that's a relatively flat lie. I was like, that's fucking 2.5 feet above his fucking feet. What are you talking about? And it just never clicked for him. And last year, we wrote it off like soft first rounds, right? Easy, just bombed and gouged it. And then when it got firm and fast, he melted. He hung around up until today, firm and fast. I mean, maybe he's figured out his bunker play. I mean, we were texting about it. Unworldly, crazy good. It's like he's clearly working on it, and he clearly wants to win the Masters. He said the right things last night too. I think he is just a better all-around golfer now. He got that bulk off, and he's figured out what to do around the green and with those wedges. And I'm not writing him off for that reason anymore.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I noticed a bunch of things this week, and maybe this happened last year too, but because you and I were on the golf course, we just didn't notice it. So that's because we just weren't watching every single shot. But 2 things really stood out. One was the around the green play for sure. He was amazing around the green this week, and I got egg on my face doubting him at this place being able to do it, but he was incredible in that area. The bunker shots, the chipping off the tight lies. Like at Pinehurst, you can get away with putting on a lot of that stuff. Yep. But here you can't do that. You can't hide. And he was tremendous in that area this week. So, but also too, there were so many situations where you referenced the COVID Masters 2020. We called it a par 67. And everybody lost their. I bought into the hype that week. Mm-hmm. Like, because we're looking at, okay, he can hit it over on this fairway and shorten it up here and carry his bunker and just turn this into just like this, basically an executive course at this point. And it turned out horribly for him because even though it's wide fairways and 1.5 rough, I mean, you and I walk that property. Like if you are offline on a couple of these holes, like you're just dead. Like you're next to you're under a magnolia bush, you got overhanging pine trees. You got to shape it crazily. And then you're in a way worse spot trying to pull off like a hero shot. Like you can't do it like that. But what I noticed this week was how disciplined he was off the tee on a couple of these holes, mainly number 1. Like Rory went up there and I mean, he didn't do it today, but like he sent it over the bunker yesterday. Yep. And I'm like, okay. I mean, Bryson's probably going to do the same thing. Nope. 3-wood every single day. He stuck with that. And he hit iron on a bunch of holes as well. Like it was a lot of discipline from him. It makes me really appreciate that I think he looked back at what he had done, some of the mistakes he made, and made adjustments and realized that he could not just overpower the place, that he has plenty of length already to just keep himself in position and go from there. I mean, the irons were not good this week. That's definitely something he's got to fix. He also does need to still address, because that showed up today. Remember last year when he admitted, I think after the third round, that when the greens get really crispy at Augusta National, he has a lot of trouble because he can't use his GC quad on the practice greens. That showed up today. He was awful putting, and those greens started to turn purple. So
they were baked out.
He needs to figure that out. He needs to get over that mental hurdle, because if that happens, like if it's going to get a baked out Augusta again, kind of like what happened here, and it's very easy for it to happen. He's going to have the similar troubles. But if you get a Masters like 2020 or 2015 or even 2019 that was warm and humid, where the greens never really firmed out all that much, like very live, because then I don't think he has a lot of the troubles with the putter at that point. So hats off to Bryson. My opinion has definitely changed on him. I'm very excited to see what he can do next year, and maybe some more favorable weather conditions where it stays soft the entire tournament. Yeah. And see what happens. But he played tremendous.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah. I mean, I take away that Scotty turned it back on today. He was a little off all week. What do you think it is with him? I think he seems like his patience is gone almost. Like he just seems like he gets more frustrated than normal. I might be reading into that too, but I just feel like he's getting more frustrated. Like he has such a high standard for himself that anytime he is not perfect, he just gets very upset. Like internally, you can see it.
Well, talk about high standards. I mean, is it possible that we are just putting him to an impossibly high standard too? Like, how can you possibly top last year?
You can't.
Like, only Tiger Woods could really top that last year. I mean, he literally won everything. The ball striking was the same, like elite levels every single week. Like, these are golfers. Like, there's gonna be some regression. I mean, he saw some regression in 2023 after a really good 2022.
Yep.
Maybe that's just how it is right now. He probably just isn't as good as what his peak was, and it's hard to really sustain that level of excellency, especially in golf. So, I mean, the fact that like we're criticizing him and he finished fourth, and we don't think he played all that great, like,
that's very true.
Like at some point,
bunch of guys melted today, though. Bunch of guys came back to the field today.
That is true. But that's just a high standard I think we have for him, and still finished fourth, and this is a great golf course for him. And I think, as we saw last year, Harbortown is also a great golf course for him. And, at some point he's going to click for him, and he's going to win, and he's going to take all our money. But I mean, maybe we should just give him a break a little bit and just stop trying to like compare him to like one of the greatest years of golf in history last year. Like, it's going to happen. So
that's fair. I like it.
Anybody else you want to talk about as far as either disappointed you or impressed you? I got one guy I want to talk about, but if there's anybody you want to talk about first.
No, I mean, it's the same. I mean, look, Homa impressed me being able to pull his shit together. Connors played all right today. I was disappointed with the same losers that I'm always disappointed with. JT, Cantlay, even Akshay. God, he fucking sucked this weekend. My God.
Shot one under today, though.
Yeah, I guess. Like,
I mean, he cashed a round score over prop for me yesterday. I was very happy about that.
so you're happy with that?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed with Bobby Mack. Like he not showing up. Yeah, I mean, other than that, no. I mean, just the same bullshit, right? Like JT stinks. Morikawa made me very happy. I wish he would have missed the cut. It would have made me a little happier, but whatever. Like the losers that should be good, but they're not, and continue to lose still make me happy.
All right. I want to talk about Brooks.
Okay.
Maybe this is just emotional, but I think I need to stop betting him.
Yeah,
I think I need to stop just feeling obligated to bet him, just because I catch feelings. And I mean, look, he's 35.
Yep.
And window's kind of starting to close on him too. He's got a lot of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to wonder if the PGA he won in 23 here, where he worked so hard to get back, was that like the last peak Brooks that maybe we're going to see on him? Like it doesn't last forever. Like he hit some good iron shots, but it doesn't seem like he was able to just step on the gas this week.
No.
And he was not able to step on the gas at all last year in the majors. I mean, we've seen bits and pieces on Live where he's able to put it together for 4 rounds. But I mean, with those golf courses, it's sometimes hard to really determine like what's real and what isn't.
Exactly.
So that was disappointing. I don't think I'm going to bet him for Quail, to be honest. Like, even though like in a vacuum that fits, I just think there's better golfers with the same skill sets that I would rather back. Oakmont possibly, but even so, like that just seems like a T38 finish, I feel like. So maybe it's time to retire Brooks is back. Brooks is really gonna he's gonna like the Brooks that we know that is gonna come back for the majors and peak and like just show up despite no form. Maybe that's something we need to retire. I don't know. I'll probably buy myself back into him anyways, but this is just emotional reactionary. How'd you do betting this week, by the way? For DFS?
Not great, Bob. DFS, I got fucking blanked. Like, I think they told me, like, you've won $20. I was like, no, you cocksuckers. I lost $2,200. I didn't win $17. I got cute. And all my 6K guys got blown the fuck out. And then any of the combos I had up top, my 5 or 6s weren't strong enough. So whatever. It happens. And then betting, like, whatever. I hit my Xander. Did hit 4 out of 4 matchups today, which helped. Did better at UFC last night than I did the entire weekend. So there's that.
All right. There you go. I was worried I was going to take an absolute bath on Friday. I mean, the tournament got off to a really bad start considering pretty much all my outrights were dead after day one. Like, that's never good. That's never fun for the Masters. Like at least have somebody in the mix. Nope. All dead. And then immediately the highest round score of the tournament, I picked under 84.5.
First day.
Freaking Nick Dunlap. Could not have just like, how are you that inept in playing golf? Like, considering he lost by 11 to the next bum.
Yeah.
Like, and he's been how has he won 2 tournaments within the last like 12 months?
Dude, his driver is broken. I went back and looked because somebody on Twitter said something about his drives on like a certain holes. So I went back and I looked at all the drives he like doubled, and it's not a professional golf swing. At least that day. I mean, look, he came back and shot well on Friday, right? Kind of redeemed himself. Which, look, that proves a lot too, right? Tough kid. Like, took his medicine. Half of these fucking guys would have withdrew after putting a round together like that, or just would have stopped at 10, right? And like, oh, I got a back. My back hurts. I'm going inside. So I respect him for playing out the 2 rounds, and he played a lot better. But god damn, those swings on Thursday were horrific.
Yep. So that blew my bet there. Apparently, actually, I heard that night at his Airbnb, his trainer went to Target and bought like 100 like practice golf balls, and just in the pitch black, he made Nick just fire shots just aimlessly into the woods.
Yep.
Like, who the hell know where the hell he was hitting into?
Yeah.
He just fired 100 shots in the woods. And then he shot 2 under, 3 under on Friday. So, I mean, good for him. But I mean, clearly his confidence is just rattled at this point. But that was soul crushing, having that prop and just seeing him continue to make double after double after double, and just really like not only just bad tee shots, but just really stupid approach shots too. Like, why are you going for the green on this particular situation here? Like, you're just going to hit in the water.
Yep.
So that was frustrating. It looked like I was going to get blanked in all my round scores on Friday, but then I had, there's the back 9 charge of Jack Nicklaus in 86. And then there's the back 9 charge of Steve's round 2 over scores to somehow squeak out a minus 0.25 unit loss when it looked like I was going to lose everything. But that worked out well. The win came out great. I have actually only losing about a unit, which isn't bad. It's actually the first losing week I've had in like 6 weeks. So not terrible. So listen, for going to for treating my MasterCard like going to Disney World, I'll take that.
All day, exactly, all day. You know what sucks is I look back on like the sheet that I write everything down on, and then I left off Rose as my first round leader. I was like, okay, good call.
Yeah,
that would have helped.
I mean, we set him in passing on the betting show. We're just like, it's a boring, like top 20, top 10.
Yeah, exactly right.
No big deal. No,
Yeah,
we're end up working out. So,
yeah.
All right. I got nothing else on the Masters. Do you have anything else?
No, great Masters. I don't know if we'll ever see another major with those types of ups and downs, and certainly I don't know if we'll ever see anything with that type of historic significance again. So, yeah, man, I was super happy. I was able to watch it in peace, no interruptions. Got to enjoy it. Even people who aren't into golf were into it. So, yeah, I love it. It was great. And I guess we are on to Harbortown.
We are on to Harbortown.
I'm actually gonna be in Savannah on Thursday, Friday. I wonder if I can convince the wife to shoot up there.
Yeah, it's what, like only like an hour or so?
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
but it's our anniversary. I don't know if
you definitely could. Golf. Yeah, you definitely could be able to go, and there's some nice restaurants in Hilton Head. You probably can treat her too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, this is the after party to the Masters. Well, I was talking to Cam before the show about Harbortown. He loves it. He played it, so he loves it. What do you think about this golf course and tournament, just in general?
Meh. Yeah, take it or leave it. I don't really care. I have no strong opinion on it, other than the fact that I can't believe Cam Young got first round leader here once. Pretty much.
That is true. I think my opinion of this place is I want to play it clearly. I think it's a great course for, like, obviously it's destination golf, Hilton Head.
Oh yeah.
I think it's great resort golf to play this place. I do notice though, maybe I'll go to the next slide here. So this is the Google overhead view of Harbortown here. And so it was built in 1969 by Pete Dye with actually people I don't think talk about this on the gambling shows, but Jack Nicklaus also consulted with him to design this to the point where actually on the Nicklaus Design Golf Course, they actually list Jack as the primary designer of this place, which is not true. No, it's not true. It's Pete Dye. But I think Jack's and the Nicklaus Design Company has done some work to this place over the years, kind of make it a little more refined. But it was built in 1969. It is 7,215 yards. They added a couple of new tees a couple of years ago. Very short golf course, small greens, 3,700 square feet. I think just looking at this too, like, while I would like to play this place, it seems like when I watch this tournament, I mean, obviously I'm coming off the Masters, so I'm kind of having like hungover over that. I'm just about to go on vacation, so I'm thinking about that already. Like, I'm kind of have
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah, basically, a little bit of senioritis here. But more importantly, though, like, a lot of these holes that they play inland, they all kind of just blur together because they all really look the same on television.
They look exactly the same.
Right. Just like you have this, like, like narrow tree lined, coastal golf course with a bunch of like really nice, like, cottages and houses flanking each fairway here. And it all just kind of muddles together, and it makes it a little bit of a slog to watch. I feel like, especially coming off Augusta National. I mean, obviously you can't follow that up, but at least like grinding this tournament for 4 days, like 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day, it can get to be a little much. But I do like the closing stretch of holes at Harbortown.
Yeah,
I think it's a really
18's great.
Yeah, it's a really good last 5 holes. So this is the 14th hole.
Unless you have money on Shane Lowry.
Well, this is why we started with this hole, the 14th hole here.
Yeah,
do you want to walk through what happened a couple years ago here? To your boy Shane.
I remember he hit it long and he fucking chipped it into the water. Did he do it twice?
No, I think he did once. So he hit it about here and then chipped it over the green, over the bulkhead into the water here.
And then I think he two putted from there too. Oh, that's fucked.
He might have. Yeah. I mean, he also made a mess of 15, which I'll get to in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, listen, short part or like middle length par 3, got water right here. There's also a little pop bunker over on the left that can be a little annoying, but I mean, anytime you bring in a dangerous tee shot late into the round here. It's always a good one. Now this
Did you see
pop
Lowry shot +9 today?
Shot +9 today.
Yeah, I got to go back and look at it. I happened to catch it right before.
Oh my
it was
god, he
coming
didn't
on
finish
air.
inside like the top 30.
No.
Wow. Hold on, is that really true? Oh my god, it is true.
Yeah, because I had
42.
I had Patrick Reed against him, I think, in a matchup. I was like, oh, they're not even close. What did Lowry do today? I was like, oh shit.
Look at that. Funny enough, I was talking to my buddies about, because they love Shane Lowry, and
of course, who doesn't?
Yeah, they bet him. And I'm like, the books were wise this week because his top 20 price was like +130. And for years, I've been betting Shane Lowry like +180 at this point, just cashing tickets. And finally this year, they're like, no, we're putting him down where he should be. I'm like, all right, that's a little too rich for my blood. Yep. But I was actually very happy, I guess, to avoid that because that would have been a losing bet. But yeah, this is the 14th here. Now, this pop bunker that they have over on the left here, I mean, it looks like, it's Sawgrass where they have like the little tiny hula hoop bunkers.
Mm-hmm.
Just Pete Dye he's an asshole. And he just has these things over here.
They have another tiny bunkers.
Yeah, well, he has another one over here, but this is actually what it looked like before they spruced it up. So literally, it was just a hole in the ground with a ladder in it, and it reminded it's almost like Pete Dye went up to one of his associates and said, "Hey, look, those pits that they had in the Vietnam War that the GIs would be walking around the jungle and then they just step in and they fall in the sticks. The
punji sticks.
Yeah, basically make that as this bunker right here. That's essentially what this is. It's literally it was just a hole in the ground. And this guy actually, he ended up taking, I think, 5 shots to get out. It's on one of the Harbortown fail videos, which actually is quite entertaining. There's a lot of really bad shots at Harbortown through the years. But this is
so the Viet Cong used to put animal feces on those spikes as well. That way, if you survived the spikes, you'd die from infection. So lovely people, the VC.
They were very chummy fellows. So, but anyways, this is what this bunker literally looked like. It was just a giant hole in the ground. So
I want new golf courses to put some of these out. That would imagine showing up to some random fucking semi-private course and those are all over the place. That would be fucking great.
I mean, you and I could probably do that. We just take a backhoe and just take a couple holes there. Phil was saying there's your bunker. Have fun, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that's what this bunker used to look like. I always get a kick out of that every time I see this video. You got the 15th here. This is a par 5. It's the only par 5 in the back 9 here.
Nope.
So this is just the view of the green here. But if I go back a ways here, you have on the second shot, see this big tree right here? So for years, guys pretty much wouldn't be able to carry to the green. You got to basically hit it over this tall pine here to get to it.
Yeah.
But with advancements in technology now, guys can definitely get over it with an iron. So whereas before, they were trying to hit 3 wood or 5 wood and they just couldn't get high enough with the trajectory. You got water over the left here if you do screw it up. But yeah, it's par 5 down the back 9. There's Shane Lowry actually screwed up this tee shot on the very next hole. He hit it in the Koshina shells over on the right here. Had to punch out. Didn't make birdie here. Continuing to make you very upset. So yeah, this hole 16th hole.
I saw him off for years after this fucking tournament.
You did. I think you saw him get drunk somewhere or I don't know. And then you're
it was after Team Europe won.
Yeah. Now the 16th hole here, this is where you start coming back towards the coastline and you start kind of feeling some of the wind elements and you start seeing the bay, which is a little more visually appealing. So this is a shorter par 4. See this tree right here though? So this is right in the middle of the fairway. So, and again, Pete Dye was just an asshole. So he would put these little, things around the golf course, hazards to just make it visually annoying for you. This is one of those examples, this tree here, just right in the middle of the fairway. Guys just kind of lay up pretty short of it now, and they have a nice view of the green here. There's a waste area over to the left. If you hit over there, you could technically incur a penalty, but that the tree in the middle of the fairway here, that's a very unique feature to this hole. And you start getting some of the wind coming off the bay here to affect some of the approach shots. 17. This is one of the tougher par 3s on the PGA Tour because usually with the prevailing wind, it's coming straight into you. And there's just a lot of danger around this green. Obviously, you have, the sound in the marsh is like way left here. You have, a flat bottom bunker here over on the left. There's another little like coffin bunker over to the right that you don't see. It's a very difficult hole. The green is also has some pretty tricky undulations to it too. Again, like this is a nice, I always like having kind of like with Pebble Beach, like a very challenging par 3 coming down the stretch where guys can definitely make bogey and kind of swing tournaments. This is an example of it. And you add in the weather with this. So
yeah, this wind, forget about it.
Yeah. So it's a good hole. And then 18. I mean, this is the most
closing hole.
Yeah, the most picturesque hole at this golf course. One of the more picturesque golf course on the PGA Tour. You have like a fairway that's like a football field wide. I think it's only like 310 to the marsh here. So you'll see guys.
They take 3 wood to there.
Yeah. And then, you basically have to carry it over the marsh here. You see guys can, come up short if there's wind. This bunker right here, though, that's where that playoff with Cantlay and Spieth a couple of years ago. I bet Cantlay, and they both went into the bunker. Guess which one had the plug lie? The guy I bet.
Yeah,
It's funny how that happens. No, and then Spieth got up and down, wins. But yeah, you see the Harbortown lighthouse right here. Very famous closing hole in the golf. And it's nice because like you spend most of the round watching guys just play inland and through the woods, and finally kind of opens up on the back 9 here, the last couple of holes. And I think that's why you can have some very exciting finishes. You start getting closer to the water and you start incorporating a little more wind elements. So that's Harbortown. Just showing you if you've never seen the golf course before. So here's again, we're gonna let Andy handle a lot of the nitty gritty as far as like the finer details of what this golf course plays like. But just for a high level. So typically, this is one of the tougher golf courses to gain strokes off the tee. It's, in 2021, 2022 is one of the top 5 toughest off the tee. Last year was 10th toughest. Year before that, 7th toughest. Now, with this, I think it's 2 things in play. Number one is, it's very narrow. A lot of these tee shots, you have a lot of trees that if you do miss, you're going to clank it around in there. So that is one way that it's technically difficult tee shots. The other way too is I think some of this data, because this is basically a measurement of how much more or less you can actually gain at other PGA Tour compared to other PGA Tour golf courses. I think because so many guys hit less than driver and so many of these holes are just positional and you're basically all hitting the same shots. I think it's just harder to separate off the tee than like any other place. So I think that's kind of why it's not necessarily it's difficult tee shots, because there's not a big missed fairway penalty here. There's not a ton of, there's a couple holes where you can definitely incur like a penalty off the tee, but it's not a huge like percentage. So I think a lot of this is just a lot of guys just hitting irons or 3 woods or 5 woods, and they're just playing positional golf. And it's harder. They're all trying to play the same place. And when that happens, it's just harder to gain strokes because you're all hitting there. The approach shots, though, that's definitely one of the more tougher of all the PGA Tour golf courses. These greens are only 3,700 square feet. I think that is second smallest of all the PGA Tour golf courses. These are very small
Pebbles,
targets.
One, right?
Yep, very small targets. So that obviously ups the difficulty as well. So that's a reason why these are very difficult. That's why this data shows up as difficult approach shots, because you're hitting a very small greens and small targets. Around the green, though, one of the easiest on the PGA Tour. For the last 5 years, one of the 5 easiest. Again, because the rough is only 1.5 inches overseed, so that's not very challenging. The bunkers are not that they're not that challenging either. So compared to at least Augusta National.
Bunkers at Augusta are ridiculous.
They are ridiculous. And if you're tight, and off the tight lies, a lot of this you can kind of putt back to the green. So it just, and they're also because of how small these greens are, there's not really a lot of like real estate you have to cover, like a lot of like longer, like chip shots or bunker shots, kind of like you saw at Augusta. Everything's kind of really compacted tightly together. So I think the difficulty is definitely down in those situations. And putting's kind of all over the board. I don't particularly know why in 2022 it played way tougher than every other year. It was 6th toughest that year. It might have been because I think that year might have been really firm and maybe the greens got really fast. Every other year, though, it's relatively benign and easy to putt on these greens. I mean, this is Poa Trivialis overseeded greens. There's not a ton of undulation to them. I mean, it's a resort course at the end of the day.
Yep.
So, but basically the biggest challenge is like, this is definitely a ball striker's golf course with some difficult approach shots. If you do happen to miss a green, though, it's not all that penalizing and challenging. So, here's the proximity buckets. So, you know, we'll get to the comp courses in a little bit. They all have kind of similar proximity buckets where there's definitely a higher concentration between 100 and 200 yards. And I think that's kind of why we get our stereotype of, you know, the more accurate ball strikers, because they tend to be pretty good from, you know, these ranges here. So I think 70, eyeballing this, that's 44, 61. So 73% of your shots come between 100 and 200 yards. The 225 plus shots, those are usually your par fives. They're coming into. So, actually also in this, I think number 9 is drivable. So that's probably in this as well. Technically your tee shot's an approach shot.
Okay.
So that's really all you got to focus on though, is I'm focusing mostly on just like 100 to 200 this week. Like those are types of guys who excel in those categories tend to do really well here. So, that's the range I'm really just going to focus on. So as far as correlated golf courses, I mean, no surprise here. It's a lot of your smaller, more accurate, like, you know, positional ball strikers golf courses. So shout out Austin Country Club. Please bring back the match play, you assholes.
Oh my God, please.
It's dumb that we don't have it. It's dumb that we have Zurich instead. But Austin Country Club, another Pete Dye golf course where you see like your Kisners and Kuchers and those types of guys. You know, they do well at Harbortown. They do well at these places like Colonial, Sea Island, Innisbrook, Waialae, TBC Twin Cities, TBC Southwind, Concession, Port Royal, Sawgrass. Like a lot, you think about the same types of guys that, you know, do pretty well here. We're good ball strikers. You got to have, you know, a little bit of accuracy. That's usually it. But we'll get to the last year's tournament. It might have kind of broke a little what you're looking for because we did get a better field in it. So, all right, let's go down painful memory lane for you and I.
Yeah.
So, crazier leaderboard in 2022.
Yeah.
So
good leaderboard.
Yeah, very good leaderboard. So only 2 shots separated first and 10th. You had a playoff between Spieth and Cantlay at 13 under. You had a whole host of guys at 12 under. Harold Varner III, JT Poston, Matt Kuchar, Cam Davis, Shane Lowry.
I think I had HV3.
You did also have HV3. Sepp Straka, Cam Young, which is I think the outlier here. But I mean, Tommy Fleetwood. Like this 2022 leaderboard kind of is like, I think your classic stereotypical Harbortown leaderboard, just a bunch of shorter ball strikers, good scramblers. Like they're never going to really impress with the driver other than Cam Young, maybe Eric Van Rooyen. So, and you look at kind of how all these guys did it to gain strokes, you know, like on the field. It's really all over the place. Like looking at the strokes gained off the tee, as far as these guys did, some guys are very elite in that category. And then you have 4 guys who actually lost strokes off the tee. It was way all over the place.
Yeah.
Same thing with like distance. Like obviously you're not having big driving distances here because you're clubbing down a lot, but that's kind of all over the place. Same thing with accuracy. There's actually not a big missed fairway penalty here. So, which is, you know, you would think maybe there would be if it was so narrow. There really isn't. It's one of the lower ones in the PGA Tour. So, but also too, like you have some elite iron players who played really well that week. You have some garbage iron players that still managed to finish inside top 10. Maybe they scrambled their way to a really good finish. So, and the kind of the same thing happened again in 2023. This was a little stronger field. So you had Matt Fitzpatrick and Spieth and Cantlay Xander. There was actually a lot of really good
Buckley.
players. Yeah, Hayden Buckley. But again, you kind of see a little bit all over the place as far as like, you know, I mean, most of the better iron players did like kind of rose to the top, but you had some clunkers in there too. And then last year though, so I think this one kind of broke what people would typically look for at Harbortown. because I think it kind of resembles like the 2022 leaderboard, like your short, accurate guys. Well, this is kind of like a mixed bag of just a lot of different types of golfers. Like you still have those types of guys like your Cantlays or JT Post and Sepp Straka's, Kyle Morikawa, Chris Kirk. Those guys. Yeah. You also have some elite drivers like Wyndham Clark, Justin Thomas, and Ludwig and Scotty. Like Scotty's just good at everything, but you know, you got Ludwig in there.
What he did off the tee. My God.
Yeah, like Patrick Rogers too. Like it's not like it's there's guys like I think like the guys you wouldn't think would be very good here was like Sav Tagala and Wyndham Clark. You know, but maybe when you get a better field on this golf course, when you get these guys who maybe can be a little erratic off the tee and you just make them club down a little bit, you know, kind of mask some of those deficiencies you might actually see, you know, in other places. So, but you also are still seeing too, like just kind of a randomness as far as how these guys did it. Like, you know, Scotty Scheffler for the week, tremendous ball striking, really didn't do much around the green and putting. Patrick Rogers was basically all driving and putting, awful around the green, pretty field average with the approach shots. Morikawa actually lost strokes with his approach for the week, but it was great around the green and putting, great driver. Poston was terrible ball striking for the week, but great around the green putting. So the one thing about this tournament, which makes it hard to handicap, is the ability to separate yourself, like with your irons and off the tee and around the green. It is way less like correlated to your total strokes gain than other PGA Tour golf courses, like across the board. Right. Really, the only thing that can separate you is basically just putt your way to like good finishes. So to me, that suggests that there isn't really one dominating category. Like guys can have like 2 good weeks in a couple areas, but you got to putt pretty well in order to really like get you up, which makes it hard. Like it basically turns into kind of a putting contest at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that.
Do you look at the board?
Yeah, let's look at the leaderboard here. Let me pull that up here. So any questions of what I was saying?
No, I mean we're pretty familiar with it. I think you're right. I think the fact that now it's a elevated event kind of skews some of the older data, right? Like, well, it's a completely different type of field who plays here. I think that I still don't understand why this is a fucking elevated event the week after the Masters. I think the only one who came
honestly,
through and played after was Rahm, right? I think Rahm was the only one who came through and played after he won. Did Scotty come through and play? I don't think he did.
Well, no, Scotty won last year.
Oh, so yeah, he did. Okay, so Scotty came. I guess Rahm came. So yeah, I guess okay. So maybe it's working, right? It keeps the guys who played the Masters in.
Well, I don't think it was elevated 2 years ago. I think last year was the first year it was elevated, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Yeah.
Well, even so, though, like we talk about once we get into the summer, we're basically done with elevated events. Like this seems very unnecessary to have this event.
Very unnecessary.
Be elevated.
I think RBC. So RBC. So they get the Canadian Open too. So it's not like they only get one crack at the event. The sponsor. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I was like, maybe the sponsor's putting pressure on it.
Yeah. I mean, RBC is a really big sponsor. I guess that's probably throwing them a bone. But why not just make RBC Canadian? Like
exactly. I'd much rather have that be fucking an elevated event than here.
Yeah, have it have a national event. Like this needs to definitely be like a nice like come down from the Masters at this point.
Exactly right.
Because also we have the Zurich next week, which no one's going to care about. So
we're not doing that, right? We're not covering that, right?
No, we are not covering the Zurich. We have other things we'll cover, but we will not be covering the Zurich.
Chapultepec or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, Chalupa. Yeah. There you go. Chapultepec. All right, so let me pull up the odds board here. So Scotty Scheffler is plus 350. Xander 10-1. That sucks. I actually was kind of I wanted to take him this week, but 10-1 is steep. I mean, again, this is only DraftKings pricing though. Colin Morikawa 11-1, which maybe we'll talk about in a little bit. Ludwig 13-1, Justin Thomas 16-1, Patrick Cantlay 19-1. Let's stop there. Anybody stand out here that you want to bet?
No. I mean, Xander makes sense. Maybe a 10-1, but I don't know. I got to go back and look a little bit. But Morikawa should do really well here. I'd have to look in. I feel like he hasn't really made any type of legitimate push here. Ludd, no. Cantlay's a loser. Thomas is a loser, which would make sense that they'd win one of these. But I'll go file it down the board with losers who I like.
Okay. So yeah, Colin has not been very good here.
Makes no sense. He shouldn't be good here.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because
especially
like,
Nicholas too. It doesn't he usually do well at Nicholas courses too. So if you put even if Nicholas does help, like that should help him even more.
So there's at Nicholas course is really good, but Pete Dye course is not very good.
Well,
so true. I mean, this still is more Pete Dye than Nicholas.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it might be because like there's no like because it's so easy if you miss a green to get up and down. Like maybe that cuts on his advantage a little bit. Yeah. Maybe it cuts down because like he's so good at hitting fairways, but everybody's clubbing down, and there's not really a big missed fairway penalty.
Yeah, no,
that could be it.
Yep.
So
lots of reasons. Whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not betting him fucking 11-1. It's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that like last year, like he lost strokes on approach, like that's surprising. Now he played good at the Masters of the approach shots, but he wasn't very good coming like around there. So maybe he was just having problems with the irons at that point. But historically, he has not chipped very well here, and historically, he's not putt very well here, which is odd. So,
what about you? Anybody short?
I mean, honestly, I hate that. I hate that I'm even thinking this, but
if you say Patrick Cantlay, I'm ending the podcast.
No, he stinks. I'm sorry. He's just. I can't do it anymore. Like we were talking on in Discord about how there are certain guys now that if they win, I'm just gonna chalk it up as like
luck.
Congrats to you. I'm not gonna keep doing this. Saad Tagala is on that list, and Patrick Cantlay is not on this list. I can't do it anymore with him, man. Like it just.
It's good. It's only been 2 to 3 years I've heard you say that. So we'll see.
I'm serious this time. Positionals I'll still take him, but like to win a golf tournament, I'm just gonna tip my cap if he beats me. No, I hate that I'm doing this, but like JT seems like this would be a week he wins. Like everybody was on him last week at the Masters. Yeah. I mean, good at like Innisbrook. He's won Waialae. He's been good here. Like a lot of these like ball striker golf courses, they're kind of a little shorter, like Sawgrass. Like maybe those are just his types of golf course, like that, or like River Highlands. He's really good there. That's got some crossover with this place as far as what different skill sets that you're looking for. Like this would be like a good bounce back JT week. Except
he also hasn't won any tournament in fucking 2 years, and he's a loser.
No, but he probably should have won Innisbrook. I mean, he was right in the mix there. So I know he can at least get close. Like recently. Like Patrick Cantlay, I can't remember.
Yeah, that's fair.
In the mix.
No, that's fair.
So
not for me. Not for me.
If there's a 2 in front of JT, I might be tempted.
I'd rather bet Corey Connors at 22-1. Much rather.
Would you really?
Much rather. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. I mean, a lot of pressure on playing for the home country at RBC.
I don't think he cares about that playing against Kakalaki.
Okay. The aforementioned Shane Lowry 22-1. Somebody was mentioning
he's still gonna be drunk from partying with Rory.
Probably. Holden was pretty bad today.
Nah, but he ended up making a comeback, didn't he?
I mean, he hit a good shot on 15, but I think where did he finish?
Take a look.
All right, he was T21. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
he was
like
plus 5 at one point today.
Yeah.
Because I know I texted you about him. I know I texted you about him. Was it yesterday? I think we were talking already about who we're looking at for RBC. And I think Vic was on my radar on Saturday. I don't mind that at 28. But is he really going to win 2 tournaments in fucking 2 out of 3 tournaments? And he hadn't won in a minute, and he still kind of seems broken. I don't know.
All right, here's an idea. What about bounce back spot for Bobby McIntyre?
Maybe.
I could buy into that.
Yeah, I could buy that. Sanjay at fucking 40, Spieth at 40. Both of those have good numbers. And isn't Cam's theory that Spieth wins on Easter weekend? And it's Easter weekend. So
that is true.
Yeah, Cam is vigorously pointing. So I am correct that I remember Cam's asinine theory that I will follow. I like Spieth. I like Spieth last week. Why would I like him this week? He actually played all right today. That guy's a fucking mental head case. He's so fun to watch.
Yeah, what did the leaky canoe even do this week? Like, how did it go wrong for him this week? Let's.
He blamed the tree on one thing. He hit a tree and he was like, "That's going to cost me a full fucking stroke."
Okay,
so Jordan.
So this week he was good with everything except for his irons, which seems like it's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, but like he's been all over the map in that category. So
yep.
I don't know.
41 though.
That's true. All right, maybe a little bit down the board here. I don't know. I mean, JJ Spawn's kind of got in the mix a lot. It's 55-1, kind of a bad-ish number.
Hey,
but
Keegan at 60 seems a little deep.
Yeah,
he missed the cut. Like he missed the
cut.
cut.
Yeah, he played. Yeah, he missed the cut. You got Justin Rose, who I would expect probably is going to go up to like 40-1.
Oh, and I'd be surprised if he plays.
Yeah. What about Daniel Berger? 65-1.
Everybody in their fucking cousins.
Yeah, that's probably true. Everyone's probably gonna bet Aaron Rye. Everybody's probably gonna bet Poston, which maybe we need.
Yeah, Poston at 75 is not bad.
We might have to.
I say that shit, but you go back and you look at those leaderboards, and it wasn't a fucking. Wait, how did he do last year? Did he do anything last year? When was
he was top 10 here? Yeah, but like at signature events, it seems like just top of the board premium player like wins. Yeah. So it's. I think Poston's probably just gonna be a positional bet for me if I get a good price. Yeah. Will Zalatoris, that was ugly this week. Fitzpatrick looked all right this week, 80-1.
The Goober, fucking 80-1. He's the Sea Island Mafia guy.
Yeah, you could do that. That could work. Billy Horschel, 110-1.
Does he play well here?
Probably not. I think we probably.
I feel like kicked me in the dick one year here.
Yeah, he probably did. So. All right, that's
what about our boy Bridgman? 110.
I don't know if I can do it anymore. So hi Cam.
I totally just messed it up. Scroll all the way to the bottom and tell me one guy who actually played really well this weekend and is 600-1.
Brian Campbell, I'm not doing it.
No. I know 600-1 though. He just played
600-1, 6,000-1. What does it matter if they don't win?
I mean, what about like a top? I mean, you probably get what, like a
12, that's what I'm saying.
20 on him.
Yeah, if he's 600-1, you can get a 5-1 top 20, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even
maybe like a
higher than 5-1,
or like Ryo Hisatsune is playing pretty well. 200.
Yeah, Rio's actually playing. Rio is legitimately playing well.
Yeah, I mean, Eric Cole's been playing all right lately. That could be maybe positional.
Scam Young, 200-1. Oh my God, the Scam Young putting. My God, what a disaster! Yeah. That was brutal. Also funny.
So, all right. I think we went the odds pretty good. So, all right.
And we'll
so that is it.
Tuesday.
Yes. We will have our betting show on Tuesday. We will go over it. And then after that, while I will be on vacation, we got a lot of content next week. We'll have a little bit of a modified schedule, but we're planning on doing Live Mexico, Chapultepec. We'll do that. I think we're gonna have a mailbag as well, where you guys can ask us stuff, and we'll answer questions. We're gonna have a special little NFL draft live stream.
Oh shit! Is the draft next week?
Draft is next week.
Damn, man!
Yeah,
time flies. Holy shit!
I know. So we're gonna have a little something special with that.
Is Baroff going on?
I think so. I got to talk to him, and then I think we got to figure out too, like, if that's going to be behind the paywall live stream. But I don't know. Yeah. We'll talk to management about that, and then I think we might have to do the Byron Nelson preview on Saturday because I'm driving Sunday.
Okay.
So that's a stinky tournament. So, but yeah, we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, other than that, listen, Masters week is over. We didn't say, we should have said it off the top. Congrats, Kobe. I know that motherfucker had a big ticket somewhere on Rory. He finally, I haven't checked in on him on Twitter, but I'm sure he is having a ball. So, yeah, Masters week is over. Rory finally did it. The best major I can remember in a very long time. Might be the best one we ever see. Who knows? But we're on to RBC Heritage, and let's catch a winner this week. See you motherfuckers on Tuesday. Bye.